Think about that weight in your chest, the constant, suffocating pressure that stays with you even when everything outside looks perfectly fine. We live in a culture that treats this psychological pain as a disease to be cured, or a mechanical glitch in your brain that has to be erased. So you do what everyone else does to survive it. You drown it out. You scroll through digital feeds, you take medication, or you chase shallow pleasures just to keep the quiet moments at bay. In the process of trying to fit in and keep the peace, you drift. You build a character designed entirely to please the people around you, swallowing your actual feelings just to avoid making a scene. But shutting off your emotions doesn't fix the emptiness. It only feeds a quiet agony, a pain you can't even put a name to, that slowly consumes you from the inside out. It is natural to look around and blame this misery on the world outside. You point to a demanding boss, a failing relationship, or the crushing expectations of modern society. You pour your energy into fixing those external circumstances. But you are treating an external wound when the root of this specific suffering is entirely within you. Look at this diagram of a generic processing system. When a flashing error signal pops up, the instinctive response is to box it in and suppress it with heavy barriers. But doing that causes the internal pressure metrics to spike uncontrollably everywhere else. You are treating the fire alarm like it is the actual fire. Notice how the barriers holding back that error signal start to fracture. As the pressure metrics overflow, the system breaks down. As long as you try to get rid of your emotional pain by forcefully muting the signal, the underlying pressure will relentlessly chase you. Treating your own mind like a mechanical error to be destroyed does not bring peace. It traps you in a self-inflicted matrix of numbness. To break this loop, we turn to the legendary psychoanalyst Carl Jung. He recognized suffering as a profound call to reorganize how you live. In this framework, your anxiety is a highly intelligent biological alarm system. It is ringing because it is desperately trying to wake you up from living a lie. Jung identified something he called the persona. This is the social mask you carefully construct to navigate the corporate world, deal with your family, and survive your daily relationships. To keep that mask securely attached to your face, you have to perform continuous psychological labor. You suffocate your genuine sadness, swallow your legitimate anger, and abandon your true nature so you don't disrupt the performance. But this constant suppression creates massive internal damage. The human soul eventually breaks under the weight of investing all its biological energy into maintaining a life that isn't actually yours. We start with a single line representing your identity. As you build a social mask, the line splits. The gap between your true self and the persona grows unstable. Jagged sparks bridge this gap, representing biological friction. These nodes are your symptoms: anxiety, insomnia, apathy. Your anxiety is the physical and psychological friction of living completely out of alignment with your own truth. Jung warned that what you do not bring to consciousness will inevitably return as inescapable fate. Your emotional pain is high-fidelity biological data. It's a targeted alarm demanding that you stop lying to yourself and realign your internal architecture. You hack this system through the integration protocol. You stop treating your suffering as an enemy and start following it as a guide. The primary rule is that pain must be experienced to its absolute end. You cannot outrun or numb it. You must traverse straight through the center of the distress. This kicks off the process of individuation. You take off the masks. You stop performing for an audience. You become an authentic human being, free from the distortions you built to please the world. To do this, you have to call a ceasefire with your own emotions. You must legitimize the pieces of your existence you used to hide: your anger, your fear, and your deepest shame. When you pull those rejected pieces back into yourself instead of going to war with them, the biological friction ceases, and the suffering begins to dissolve because there is no longer a gap to bridge. When you stop fighting your internal nature, the noise settles. It is the sensation of a violently churning substance settling into crystal clear stillness. You look back and see that every emotional collapse and every crisis had a specific purpose. They were forces designed to strip away the illusion of control and the persona's lies. The pressure subsides because you are no longer exerting energy to hide from yourself. This isn't about fixing a flaw. It's about reclaiming the parts of your personality that the mask previously deemed unacceptable. The peace you tried to find in external achievements was waiting inside your own mental architecture. It was simply buried under the labor of maintaining a false self. Healing happens when you stop fighting the signal. You allow the pain to resolve into awareness, using it as the data point that finally brings you back into alignment. The alarm is ringing. Now you wake up.